Hello everybody, I am Scorpion Games and today we're going to be playing Dynasty Warriors 2. Just to give you a bit of history of the game before I begin, this game was released in 1997 and it was one of the first games released for the PlayStation 2. Dynasty Warriors 2 is the first of its series of games to have this hack and slash style gameplay. The previous game before Dynasty Warriors 2 was not a hack and slash, it was more of an arcade 1v1 fighting game. All the other games after Dynasty Warriors 2 maintained the hack and slash style. Dynasty Warriors' story is based loosely around the Chinese text records of the three kingdoms. These three kingdoms are known as Wei, Shu and Wu. In the game, these are notable by the colour of the officers and generals. So blue for Wei, green for Shu and red for Wu. Depending what character you play as, depends what kingdom you are fighting for, as all three kingdoms become conflicted and have their own desires to control China for reasons of power and peace. And the battles within the story are based on real battles in the three kingdoms period. So as we get through each mission is a different battle, and that's based from this text. So the reason why I want to play Dynasty Warriors is because Dynasty Warriors is very important in my life, as it's one of my earliest memories of playing video games. I think when I was about 4 or 5, my mum and dad got me a PlayStation 2 for Christmas, and this was the game that came with the PlayStation 2. For a bit, my brother played Dynasty Warriors and I used to watch him play this game, and I used to absolutely love watching him play this game. Not only because the characters in this game are really cool, they all have their own stories, they all have their own unique fighting styles and look, which makes it exciting to play as these characters. But as you complete missions and the story in this game and all the other Dynasty Warriors games, that's how you unlock new characters. So once you come across a character in the story that seems very strong or looks really cool, you can unlock that character by completing the story. In this game and Dynasty Warriors 3, I think you unlock characters depending what faction you're on, what kingdom you're on. So for instance, if you're a Shu character and you complete the story with the Shu character, you will unlock a Shu character to use as. Can't remember how many you unlock, can't remember if it's just 1 or 2, but we'll find out once we complete the story in this playthrough. Yes, so Dynasty Warriors, since I've played Dynasty Warriors 2, my love for Dynasty Warriors is maintained, and I've played every single Dynasty Warriors up till now, apart from a couple. I haven't played any of the Gundam Dynasty Warriors, but I've just played the normal ones up to 8 Empires. I'm also playing this because of the build up towards Dynasty Warriors 9, which I'm very excited for. I can't wait for that. Today, I think a 15-minute gameplay has been released. If you haven't watched that, go and watch it. It's 50% unfinished, apparently, in this game footage. So there's a few graphical errors and stuff like that, but you're getting the idea of what the game's going to be like, and it looks very exciting, like with this open world aspect. So yeah, I want to show off every single Dynasty Warriors on this channel. I want to do it in a way where I do the story mode with one character on each game, because if I was to do the story mode of every character on every game, that would be too much. I'll happily go back and do the story again. If any of you guys recommend me to do it with a certain character, then I'll happily go back and do it again if I have time. So that's enough of me talking. I'll begin Dynasty Warriors 2 and show you what it is like. So before I start recording this, I've only played the first 2 missions just to see what it's like. After that, all these missions are going to be the first time I'm going to be playing these missions in over 10 years. So it's going to be quite exciting, and there's a lot of nostalgic feelings playing this game, and hopefully you guys are feeling the same as well, because hopefully most of you guys watching this will be the first time you're seeing this game over 10 years as well, like me. So on this game, there's the free mode, which is basically you pick a character and you do a single mission, and then there's the Misura mode, which is the story mode. So for this, I'm going to start a new game. So yeah, so I've only done 2 missions, the Yellow Turban Rebellion and the Hulao Gate mission, which is the first 2 missions. So I'll go through each character, just tell you a bit about them. So as I said at the start as well, you can tell what kingdom they're fighting for by the colour. So these are the green officers. So Zhao Yun, he's one of the most popular characters in Dynasty Warriors. He's always on the cover of the games. He's the most iconic character. He's known for being very fast, and I would say he's quite easy to use. If you want someone who's an all-rounder, Zhao Yun is the character to pick. Then there's the character I'm going to be using for this playthrough, Guan Yu. I'm picking this character because he is the strongest character out of all the characters to choose from on this selector screen. And he's also a really cool character. He's one of my favourite characters. His fighting style is very strong. He's kind of slow, but he's not slow as some of the other. There is slower characters than Guan Yu, but I love his weapon. I love his super move, and he also has his horse is called Red Hair. After the first mission, you can start off on the Red Hair horse, which is iconic for Guan Yu and also for my other favourite character, Lu Bu, who's a character we'll fight in the second mission, who is kind of Guan Yu's nemesis in this game. And I just think the red hair is really cool, and it makes it a bit easier for me to get around the map by starting off on a horse. Then we get on to the Wei characters. As you can see, the blue characters. There's Zhao Dun, who's probably the most popular Wei character, and he's my favourite Wei character. He's one of those characters who has maintained his look throughout most of the games, and he's one that people tend to pick. As I see on most of the playthroughs on YouTube, there's a lot of people using Zhao Dun as the character of choice. Now, I love the sword Zhao Dun has. I love the way he uses it, and I love the way I love his moves. But on Dynasty Warriors 4 and 5, I think it was 4 and 5, or 5 and 6, I can't remember. They changed his weapon and give him a long mace, which made Zhao Dun very slow to use, and I felt that didn't suit him whatsoever. You'll see when we get to that game, you'll see how shit it is, really. But luckily, the later games in Dynasty Warriors 7, 8, and they're going to be doing it in Dynasty Warriors 9, they've gone back to the original Zhao Dun that we know, with this type of sword and this kind of like pirate look to him. So I'm looking forward to using him in Dynasty Warriors 9. Next, Dian Wei. He's a character that is very strong, but also he's very slow. I think he's one of the slowest characters on the selector screen anyway. That's the reason why it's put me off using him, because Dynasty Warriors 2, out of the rest of the games, is very slow paced anyway. So using a slow character just kind of puts me off a little bit. But I do love his fighting style with the battle axe. He's always used that. I think it may have changed in one of the games, if I remember. His battle axe, I think it changed to a mace. I can't remember. I'll have to look into that. But again, a lot of the games he's maintained his look. Then Zhu, he's very powerful. He has some really cool moves with the mace. You can do some fun moves with that, especially on the later games. He has a move where he throws like the people up like a baseball and he smashes them across the map. I absolutely love that move. And I've always loved his Misua attacks, the special attacks that the characters have. He always has really cool ones that does a lot of damage. Then we get onto the Wu characters, as you can see on the red. This is Zhao Yu. I think he's known to be the most iconic Wu character, but it's a bit different with Wu because there isn't really one character that stands out the most, for me anyway. Like on Wei, Zhao Dun is the one that stands out the most. On Shu, Zhou Yun is the one that stands out the most. But on Wu, there isn't really a character like that. So I would say Zhou Yu is probably that character if I was to pick one. On this game in Dynasty Warriors 3, I can't remember if he changed on 4, but for the rest of the games after that, they changed his look, which I'm kind of not a fan of. I prefer this look, which I think they're going back to on Dynasty Warriors 9. Well, I hope they are anyway, because they are going back to the original looks of the characters on Dynasty Warriors 9, so I hope they've done this with Zhou Yu, because on the newer ones, they've changed his sword to a staff, and he's kind of more of a almost like a sorcerer type of person. There's some characters in this game that use powers and use like electric and fire and stuff like that, and that's what they made Zhou Yu like. But I prefer him like this, where he's kind of got this pirate look to him and this cool sword, and also his voice has changed on the newer ones. So that's Zhou Yu. Next is Lu Xun, again another character who's kept his look throughout the whole games. They did remove his hat on some of the later games, but he's always maintained the two swords, and he's always known to be really fast. But on this game, he's just a bit too weak to start off with. I prefer to start off with someone has a bit more health and a bit more attack. But if you're looking for someone who's really fast, Lu Xun is probably the fastest character on the selector screen. Then there's the only female character that's on the selector screen, Sun Shangjiang. She's probably my favourite female character just because I like her weapons. It reminds me of, if you follow Mortal Kombat, she reminds me of Katana a little bit, with the spear kind of blades. She's very fast, and again, she's kind of weak. She's got the exact same stats as Lu Xun. But I just prefer to pick, there's characters that I like better than Sun Shangjiang, so especially Guan Yu, I'm picking. He's got a bit of a better story, it's a bit more interesting as well. Because I actually don't know the actual story for Sun Shangjiang. I don't know what's important in her storyline. I just know that she's a part of Wu. Then there's Zhang Fei, who is the sworn brother of Guan Yu, who I'm using. He is very cool. I've always liked Zhang Fei. He's very powerful. He's a very aggressive character, and on some of the missions, he's very important as part of the story. He's also in Dynasty Warriors 9. He's going back to this original look and this weapon, because on some of the later games they changed his weapon to a double bladed spear instead of this kind of pike that he uses on here. So he's going back to this, which I'm very happy about, because this is what I remember Zhang Fei being the most, and I think he should have just stayed with the pike. Even though it hasn't made too much of a difference, still the change is somewhat annoying in some aspects. So that's all the characters to pick from at the start. Like I said, once you complete the story with a character, that's how you unlock new ones. And the first two missions in the story are the same for everyone, and then after those two missions it breaks off into their own paths and stories. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's pick Guan Yu.
I am Guan Yu. The time for change is upon us. The time of the Blue Dragon is over. And all will believe wear my symbol upon their heads. Let them fight by my side. The Yellow Dragon is come.
So that's the first cutscene there to start off the first mission of the game. The person you saw on the cutscene then is called Zhang Jiao, who is the leader of the Yellow Turbans. For this mission, all the three kingdoms, Wu, Wei and Shu, have allied up to take on this rebellion with the leader He Jin, who's brought us together. This mission and Hulai Gate are like this, where the kingdoms are allied together to take on the rebellion. So on each mission as well, before you play, there's a little bit of a background story of someone narrating it. So these are really cool. I like these. They got rid of these in the later games. So I'll play this just so you know a bit of the history of the Yellow Turban Rebellion.
In the spring of the year 184, Zhang Jiao raised the Chinese people against the decadent and corrupt Han Dynasty. Followers of Zhang proudly wore yellow cloths around their heads. Thus was born the Yellow Turban Rebellion. The beleaguered Han sent out their call for help and ordered a campaign against the Yellow Turbans, who numbered in the hundreds of thousands. From all across the country, brave men and women stood to answer this call of duty. Their stories, their legends are about to begin.
Okay, so I really like them before you play the mission. It just gives a bit more to it when you're playing it. So there's the conditions, just tells you how to win. For this, you're just killing the main boss of the enemies, Zhang Jiao. And we lose if He Jin dies, or your character you're playing as dies. The allies, there's He Jin, he's the leader of the Imperial forces. Then there's the Wei characters, led by Cao Cao. Then as you can see there, there's Zhao Dun, who was on the start screen. Then there's the Wu characters, none of the characters there were on the start screen. Then there's the Shu forces, Zhang Fei, who was on the start screen, and there's Liu Bei, who's also a sworn brother to me and Zhang Fei. He's also the leader of the Shu kingdom. Then the enemies, Zhang Jiao. He's the only character on the enemies that becomes a playable character. I don't ever remember playing as Zhang Jiao though, so I'm pretty sure you can unlock him though. But you can I think you can unlock every character that is its own player model. So, for instance, like these characters here are just your generic officers that are kind of clones, but Zhang Jiao has his own player model, so I'm pretty sure you can unlock him and play as him. On every Yellow Turban mission as well, because it's on every game, they've made sure these officers always stay on those missions, which is pretty cool. These aren't just random named characters, these are actually always included in this part of the mission, in this mission on the story. Zhang Liang and Zhang Bo are quite important because they do kind of like powers on this map. When we get towards them, I'll show you what I mean. Basically, there's two hills. One of them does like a wind power, so you can't run up the hill, and one does like a rock slide. He throws rocks off the mountain. On this game as well, you have a rank, so you have a title rank, and every time you complete a mission and you get certain points, you rank up, which increases your stats. So to start off with, I'm just a first Lance General. It's the That's the first rank you have at the start. And you also have, I think because I've done 2 missions already, I'm a little bit ahead, a little bit ranked up, because usually you start off with 2 guards and they're not called sergeants, they're something lower ranked than that. So these guards that I've got at the minute have been ranked up slightly, and I've gained an extra 2 from the missions I've done so far. So yeah, so that on Dynasty Warriors 3, that same thing happens where you have the guards. So that's enough talking. I just wanted to talk you through the game, like what everything includes. I won't do this for every mission, just because it's the first mission of the game. I wanted to go through everything with you, so you guys remember all this stuff too, because there's some things that I forgot about, like the guards and stuff like that. So you guys hearing this again, hopefully it's bringing back some nostalgic memories. So let's begin the first mission. Cool, so for this mission we don't start off on a horse, but for the other missions we do. It doesn't really matter because we're already thrown into the with the enemies anyway, so we don't really need a horse for this map. And this is the first officer we're going to encounter. We need to kill the officers to open the gate to allow us to progress. So that was very easy, because Guan Yu's already ranked up a little bit. This is going to be quite quick to kill these guards. This is on normal difficulty, by the way. But it's going to be cool because once I've gone past the Hulao Gate mission, the missions that I'll be playing after that will be the first time I'll be playing those missions in over 10 years. So it's going to be quite exciting to have all these memories come back and remember what everything looks like and sounds like. And I'm just very happy that I'm playing this game again. Because I've been wanting to play these old Dynasty Warriors games for years now, but I've just never seen the point. But now I'm able to record game content. It's giving me a kind of purpose to play them. Cool, so as you saw then, the gate opens because I killed the officer. To gain health on the game, you either find these white pots, they contain health. On the map as well are boxes. They contain lots of the times the boxes contain saves, which can be very, very useful, especially if you play on higher difficulties. And they can also contain kind of temporary stat boosts. So like you saw then, I got a attack boost for 30 seconds. You can also get defense boost for 30 seconds. You also can get items from killing important officers. Every time you kill a main officer, they drop permanent stat boosts. So I think when I killed that guy then, he dropped a attack +1. So that carries on for the rest of the game. When you defeat harder officers, they tend to drop attack ups that are a bit higher. I think the highest one you can get is a +6, but you can only get those in the later missions when the missions become more difficult. I've kind of cheated a bit because I'm playing as Guan Yu, because if you was taking note of the stats on the character select screen, his stats are way higher than everybody else. So it's kind of a no-brainer really to not. If you were going to pick Guan Yu to start off with, then there's something wrong with it because he's an absolute beast. Well, on the maps they have these gate captains. What they do is once you kill a gate captain, it stops officers from spawning. As this gate here, you can't run through. It's only there for units to spawn in, but once you kill the gate captain, it stops that from happening. And every time you kill a gate captain, it gives you a permanent defense +1, which is very useful. If you're playing on a higher difficulty, getting as many of those as possible helps in the long run, and also killing every officer you see. How? Because on these games, on this game and Dynasty Warriors 3, it's very easy to just kind of dodge everyone and run straight to the main boss. Because if you kill the main boss, then the mission's over and you've completed it. But if you want to make your character as strong as possible, kill every officer on the map, because as you can see, they drop these attack boosts and defense boosts. It's kind of good in the long run, because once you complete the mission with the character, whatever stats you got them to at the end of the game, they stay like that, so you can go and redo the missions on hard difficulties with their increased stats. Cool, so the gate's open. I think there's a save under this box. Yeah, don't need to really. Pretty sure I'm not going to die on this. If I was to die, I'll just turn the game off, because I don't see how I would. On this game as well, and Dynasty Warriors 3, they have the feature of bow and arrows, which is something I forgot about until I started playing this again. And funnily enough, in the 15-minute gameplay video of Dynasty Warriors 9, which I talked about before, they've actually brought the bows back, which you can use. It's not like that where it puts you in first person, but they've brought the bows back, which is kind of a neat feature on the new game. Kind of paying homage to the old games. Also, if you're looking for health items, these kind of groups of people that run towards you, sometimes they have a leader of a group. So next time one runs towards me, I'll show you what I mean. But usually the leader of the group, I think they're known as, this guy's a captain, but it's something like ones that have a bit of a higher ranked name, you know, like, I don't know, general captain or whatever the fuck they're called. They tend to drop health as well. So if you're ever struggling to find pots, look for people like that. I think there's an officer over here. Somewhere. Yeah, he's on his horse there. So it's a bit awkward to knock them off the horse. You tend to have to jump into them and try and knock them off the time you jump right. One annoying feature in this game, which I forgot about when I was playing it for the first time, like the other day, is that you can't toggle the camera. That's something that really pissed me off in this game, especially if you're playing high difficulty, because like here now, I can't see what's in front of me. I have to kind of run into it to see what's there. I can't toggle the camera to turn around. Sometimes there's like people in front of me, and if I have to run into it to see what's there, and sometimes I've done that where I've run into it and there's like 4 officers there, like just swinging at me. So that can be quite annoying if you're playing on a hard difficulty, or if you're starting this for the first time on normal with someone who's not been ranked up at all. Okay, so here we're approaching the 2 characters I mentioned before, the Zhang Liang and Zhang Boa. Basically, there's 2 different routes up here, or there's a 3rd route where you can avoid them altogether. Basically, if you decide to pick the routes with the Zhang Liang or the Zhang Boa, they either, one route is a rock slide, which you have to avoid the rocks, and the other route is a kind of whirlwind type of thing, where it's very slow to walk up the hill. But if I take the route this way, I don't think I'll take that route actually. I'll take the rock slide route. But if you was to carry on going this way where I'm going now, that's a route that you can avoid both of them, but it's just a longer route. If you're playing on a hard difficulty, I would take that route for definite, because you can run to the top, kill the 2 characters, Zhang Liang and Zhang Bo, and that will stop both of the powers that they're going to do, and that allows all your other allies to run up. One thing I'd say about the allies, it's something a bit weird about the allies that pisses me off a bit. Like, on these pieces of text that pop up, it tells you that they're doing something. Like there, it just said someone secured a gate. But if you was to actually stand near them and actually see them doing stuff, they would do nothing, which is a bit weird. I don't think I've ever seen an ally on this game kill someone as I'm looking at them. So I don't believe for 1 second that those officers are doing shit, even though it says they are. They just get in the way. Honest to God, they just get in the way. Like, especially on the later missions when... I'll tell you after this cutscene. So like I said, this is the rock slide route. So let's quickly get up this fucking hill. I'm near the top anyway. Hope they can avoid it. Oh, okay. So if we kill him now, that'll stop the rock slide. And I'll perform my first Misui move, the special move. So as you can see, the bar is flashing underneath my health bar in pink. That's saying that the Misui bar is full and I can perform the super attack. You do this by holding circle. This is a super attack. If you want to do a quick, shorter one, you can just press it once and it won't use the whole Misui bar, but I don't think I ever do a short one. I don't see the point. Yeah, I was saying before about the allies. When you get onto the later missions and all the officers start to go around the map on horses, they piss you off so fucking much. Especially when you're trying to kill someone who's got a lot of health or is very strong. Because what they do is they don't get off the horse. What they do is they keep like trying to run in on the horses to hit the person you are fighting. So sometimes they just run and push the officer you're fighting out of view. And it's fucking annoying. It makes like killing an officer 10 times as long as it should be. They always tend to do it as well when I'm trying to do like a super attack or an attack that's quite slow. So say if I do like that move, sometimes the horse comes in and knocks them out of the way before I get the hit in, which pisses me off. Okay, so let's skip these guys and we'll go over to the other guy. Like I said, I could just go up to Zhang Jiao now and kill him, but I want to get as much stat boost as possible because I want to make Guan Yu an absolute beast. And also, I want to see if I can kill Lu Bu on the next mission. I can't remember because I haven't faced Lu Bu yet. Even in like I said before, I've done the first 2 missions. I didn't face him, so I can't remember if Lu Bu is difficult on Dynasty Warriors 2. I remember on most of the old Dynasty Warriors, he's very strong and he's very scary to come across. Especially, I remember Dynasty Warriors 3 for definite. He is very strong and scary. But luckily I haven't encountered him yet, so on the next mission, which is the Battle of Hulao Gate, I will see if I can fight. If I go in and it looks like it's going to be a no-go, then I'm just going to fucking run away and try and kill Dong Zhuo, who's the guy we've got to kill on Hulao Gate. But I think I can give it a good go now. Now Guan Yu's kind of ranked up a little bit than he should be when you're doing the Hulao Gate battle. But we'll see anyway. There are the saves on the map, so even if I do go in and he does kill me, luckily I might have done one of the saves during the game. Shit, I should have nicked someone's horse really, so I could go back up to Zhang Jiao quite quickly. I wonder if there's one down here. Yeah, this is the wind dude. But it's going to be pointless because I'm coming up behind him now to kill him. It's only people going up the hill that it affects. Yeah, if you guys are fans of Dynasty Warriors as well, and you haven't really been keeping updated with the Dynasty Warriors 9 news, go and like the main Koei page on Facebook because they're constantly updating the page with new stuff and announcements. Some of the announcements are really cool because they're showing like the costume designs and what the characters are going to be looking like. And like I said before, they're going back to the original look. So if you're a person who played these old Dynasty Warriors games, most of the characters are going to be looking like this again, but with like enhanced graphics, which is what I'm looking forward to the most. I might as well save. Especially there's a character called Yuan Shao, who is going to be the leader of the Allies on Hulao Gate. He's a character who they changed the look of, and I absolutely hated it. I thought Yuan Shao looked really cool on this game, on Dynasty Warriors 3, and I think 4. He's got a look that's really cool. He's got this kind of, it's almost like he's got this really cool gold armor and a gold helmet, but on the later games they got rid of that and they made him this kind of like, it was almost like he had like a camp vibe to him, which is just, I don't understand why they did that. Give him this like pencil mustache and just ridiculous shit. I did like his weapon though. He had this really cool sword that was kind of like it was like a curly blade type of thing that had like curls in it. It was really cool. But yeah, he's someone that they announced with the that's going back to the original look, and I'm very excited for that. I'm trying to think of a character that I've seen that I don't really like the look of in Dynasty Warriors 9. The only one that I thought had a bit of issues, this is just from a picture, this isn't from gameplay or anything, but when they showed Sun Quan, who is a character on Wu, his costume looked really cool, but for some reason his face looked really weird on the photograph. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but his face looks really, doesn't look like him. So I don't know if that's just the picture, but hopefully he doesn't look like that in the game. But apart from that, I can't think of anyone else who's looking really bad, or someone who they've messed up. Cool, so let's just go up to Zhang Jia now. I think there's an officer down there. Oh no, there's no officers left. I thought there was one down there to the left of the map that I missed, but that's all the officers killed. So let's go and finish this and kill Zhang Jia. Just the music and everything on this game is just so nostalgic, because I absolutely, this was my childhood, this game. This and Dynasty Warriors 3. I think Dynasty Warriors 3 is my favourite Dynasty Warriors game, though, because that's the one that I played the most. There's a lot more characters on that game as well, and there's a bit more to it. There's a few different modes on it as well. But this is just as good as well, but I think I would have to say Dynasty Warriors 3 is a little bit better than this, just because I have more memories of that game. Cool, so I don't need to be dealing with this. Zhang Jia on this game he's just got a sword. On the rest of the games he's got a cool staff that does fireballs and shit. I think the defense might wear off, but it doesn't really matter. When I played this the other day for the first time, just getting used to it, this actually was a lot harder. So just by getting those +1 attack boost, defense boosts, even though it doesn't seem much, it actually does make a big difference, because I'm hardly getting any damage taken off me, but when I played it the first time, they were taking chunks off me, so this has made it a lot easier for myself. Also, if I was to show the footage for those ones, there was a lot of times with me just running around looking for health, because they used to do a lot of damage to you. Okay, so let's finish this with my super move if we can. Might block this or not. Can we get him? Ah. That's one annoying feature of this game as well, is that they regenerate health, the main officers, which fucking annoys me sometimes. It just makes life a bit harder. It makes the game a bit longer than it should be. Cool, so that's Zhang Jiao dead, and that's the Yellow Turban mission over with. Fucking hell, I killed a lot of people in that game. 339. That's actually a lot for this game. Because as you saw, there isn't as many officers as in like enemies than there are in the new games. So this is just showing my movements throughout the game. Nice little feature at the end of the game. Shows you when the officers have fallen. Okay, and as you can see here, this is the point system. It's just showing you how many points I've got for how many kills I've got and for how many main officers I've killed. So by killing more main officers is a way of getting more points. And also doing it I think if you do it in a certain amount of time, you get points as well. Cool, so I've ranked up twice there. Fucking hell. I've ranked up a lot then, that's really good. And my guards have ranked up as well, as you can see. So instead of 4, I've got 6 now, and they've ranked up to Major. So Guan Yu is going to be very powerful for the rest of the game now. But nonetheless, it's still going to be exciting to play, and it's going to be very nostalgic to revisit these missions. So that's going to be the first mission over, guys. Hope you've enjoyed, and the next mission will be Who I Gate. So see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.